Hey, so I wanted to make another raid challenge in this video. I pulled a legendary and I have that clip, so as soon as I'm done talking here, I'm going to show that to you so you can see my live reaction to it. And I wanted to show you the characters that I have so far and show you the ones I decided to focus on and why, and just kind of do a general breakdown of what I've been doing the last week. Also, stay at the end of the video because at the end I'm going to be announcing that we're doing a giveaway. The raid people have offered to give out 270 gems to 3 different people, and all you have to do is follow the instructions I'll give you at the end. On to the next one. Oh my god, no way. Oh my god, we pulled a legendary. Oh. Attacks an enemy has a 50% chance of placing a stun beat debuff. Grants an extra turn. Oh wow. Attacks all enemies. Each hit has a 75% chance of placing defense. Attacks all enemies. Damage increases if target is under sleep, stun, or freeze debuffs. Wow, he might actually be good with Ray. Yep, so I did pull this guy, Rubar, I don't know, however you want to say it. He's actually pretty good. He's got skills where he basically just does like a stun on the basic, and then he gets another turn if he gets that stun, and this is a 75% chance of placing 60% decreased debuff on everybody, and he attacks, everybody. Then he attacks all enemies, damage increases if the target is under sleep, stun, or freeze. And then my other legendary is Ray, and she actually freezes people. So it works really well. Plus he's kind of he's a red affinity, and my other legendary was a blue affinity, so this is going to work great. It gives me 2 affinities that I have decent strength on people. The next guy that I've been working on is this guy here, Apothecary. He is a rare. Keep an eye out for him. If you do see him, he is one of the best, if not the best, rare in the game. He has absolutely nuts healing, as well as a amazing move that gives you speed buff plus fills turn meter of allies, and it's a really low cooldown. He's just a really good support, top tier, so keep an eye out for him. And then I've been working on Kel, because Kel is very good for like mid-game clan boss with the poisons. If you're not aware how clan boss works, typically you want to do things to do like percentage damage like poison or HP burn until you have the Giant Slayer Mastery, which we'll do videos about that later because that's a little bit farther down the road. I'm not there yet quite myself. So I've been working on him for the clan boss. I was working on the Executioner. I got him the 5-star, 5-star Ascended as well. And granted, I don't have all his skills leveled here. I have level 2 and then level 3. But I haven't been personally very impressed with him. I know he's in like every guide, and everyone says to work on him, but I haven't really been that impressed, to be honest. The guy I'm currently working on now is Skull Crusher. If you pull him, he is extremely top tier and amazing, and I'll explain why. His basic has a chance of placing a 50% heal reduction if you have higher defense than the enemy, basically, and he typically has pretty high defense the way you build him. And then this one places 50% ally protection buff on all enemies except this champion for 2 turns, places a counterattack buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns, and then places an unkillable buff on this champion for 1 turn. So essentially what happens is everyone on the team counterattacks, and when they get hit, part of that damage goes to him, and he cannot die. So it's an amazing combo. It works good in both PvE and PvP. I'm going to fully max this guy. The other ones I have are like Rhyme Beast. Rhyme Beast is pretty good in the arena early. And then I pulled Seeker, and now Seeker is a kind of like an apothecary, although he's not really a healer, but he gives you like speed. He's almost kind of like Gorgorab, which is one of the other epics I have here. But essentially what he does is attacks an enemy twice, 25% chance per hit to place a provoke debuff, which is essentially they have to attack you. And then this move is why he's good. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%, places a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns, and then grants an extra turn. And at level 3, his cooldown goes twice to 3, so effectively it's only a 2 cooldown because he grants himself an extra turn. So this character is amazing. I'm going to work on Seeker. It's typically an arena character. So my arena team I'll show you later. And then Gorgorab, I think I got to work on him too because he's my arena leader. He gives you speed in arena. His basic removes a random buff. He gains turn meter on the allies plus that same 50% increased attack, etc. And then revives everybody and heals everybody. So he just a solid kid all the way around. I'm working on this character too. Now I pulled these guys, Husk and Soul Drinker. Unfortunately, I don't think they're particularly too good that I've seen. So I haven't really been working on them. I did pull a lure earlier, and I saw some videos saying that she is not bad. So I've got her the 4-star. I'll probably 5-star her at some point, but I'm not worried about it right now. And then I have some kind of the other characters I've been working on that when I go the Fused Relic Keeper, etc. And then there's just all the food down there that I'm working. And then the Champion Vault, I have a bunch more epics here. I actually do have a secondary of Gorgorab and of Skull Crusher, which is interesting. I did get lucky there. And then I have, like the one everyone knows, like Shaman, and the Jamie Lannister guy here. I got a couple of those guys, and then like Warden Crimson Helm. I have some other characters. None of those really have impressed me too much. Crimson Helm is actually pretty good in Arena, but again, not horribly impressed. And then I have just a bunch of rares here, and no Cold Heart or anything really top tier, but just some okay guys. So I'm pretty happy with what I've pulled. Granted, I've probably opened 100 Ancient Shards at this point, but I've got a lot of top tier characters like Ray. I've got double legendary within 100 Ancient Shards. I've got 2 Skull Crushers, 2 Gorgorabs, Seeker, who is extremely top tier. I've got 2 Apothecaries, and I fed 1 into him. Multiple epics. I've got pretty decent luck. I cannot really complain. Now, the thing that I've been working on the most is my farming character. Now, I think I've explained this already in my beginner's guide, but essentially what I rushed is a farming character. Somebody that can clear, and I'll show you here, clear the campaign on Bruto and do so by themselves. Now, my farming character ended up being Ray because she has 3 AoE moves. Every move she has is an AoE. And for that reason, I thought it'd be a very quick way to chew through the campaign. And what I did was I basically just stacked her with as much offensive stats like crit damage, crit rate, and stuff I could. And then I farmed on hard 6-3, and let me show you. I went to hard 6 right here, only it was on hard mode, not Bruto, and I farmed stage 3 right here, and I just threw in whatever uncommons I had just to purely get them to be leveled, and I turned the uncommons into 3-star and 3-star into 4-star and 4-star into 5-star, and it took basically 300 uncommons because that made 100 rares, which made 25 4-stars, which made 5 5-stars. Basically, it took that many. It took probably 2,000 or 3,000 energy over time, but then I got Ray to 6-star, and the difference between 6 and 7-star, or I should say 5 and 6-star, is absolutely massive. Now, if I show you now here, what I do is I go into here and I pick like Kel because I'm still leveling, and I just throw Ray in, and then I go to my uncommons or whoever it is that I want to level, right? And I just throw them in there with them, and then we do it. It can be that on auto, Kel can die and it's fine, and I can just put down the iPad here, and we can just let it play out. She's strong enough, but you don't have to do this with Ray. The concept is the same. This is why the guides are recommending Executioner, because he is one of the characters that can do this. However, I've read similar information, and I believe I could confirm it myself after using the character, that Kale or Ethel, or basically any of the starters, but primarily those two, can do this same thing that Ray's doing. Effectively, they can farm on Bruto stage 12, sub-stage 3. They can farm that node by themselves without needing additional assistance. So if you started with Kel or something, I'd probably recommend you actually max your Kel first and use him as your farmer, unless you are like me and you pulled some Ancient Shards and you got really lucky and got a couple good characters with like a strong AoE or something like that. It's probably in your best interest to max your starter, primarily if it's Kel or Aethel. Now, the reason I say those two is because both of those characters both work very well in the clan boss and will do extreme damage. And if you pick somebody else, it's not really quite as strong. And for that reason, I wouldn't go all the way up to 6-star. But if you got Kel or you got Aethel, you started with one of those two, you're probably good to 6-star them. The other thing I've been doing is I've been making sure that I'm completing my daily quest. Now, the daily quests give you experience, which if you get enough experience, it increases your maximum energy. Then when you pay for the refresh of your energy, you get more energy. The refreshes in this game are not like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. They are actually refreshes. So they will give you 108 energy if your max energy is 108. For this reason, getting your level up is more efficient if you can get your level up quickly. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure I do all my dailies. That way I get the bonus experience of 400, and then the weekly you get the additional 500. Plus you get like an Ancient Shard, and then on monthly you get a Sacred Shard. And a Sacred Shard are your best chance at legendaries because it's an 8% chance per Sacred Shard, whereas it's a 0.5% chance with Ancient Shards. And other than that, I've really just been farming these missions, making sure that I'm following the path as much as I can. I'm trying to get the Sacred Shard here to try to pull another legendary. Plus, I need those legendary skill tomes because it's the only way to level up your legendary characters unless you somehow get a duplicate. And then at the very end, of course, you get your own legendary character there. So if you're trying to follow along with what I'm doing, essentially, I'm just going to be following the progression of the missions. I'm going to be working on my characters currently of Skull Crusher, Kale, Seeker, Gorgorab, maybe a lore. Just try and max them out a little bit and get working more on some in-game PvE content. Now, the stuff I'm really struggling with is trying to get good artifacts. I get some decent secondaries, but I've been struggling trying to get the correct primaries with good secondaries, and my speed is really low, so maybe I'll go start slaying some dragon here at some point. Now it's time to talk about the giveaway. If you want to win the giveaway, all you got to do is put in the comments below, right before you summon somebody, what's your funniest ritual you do? What is it that you pray on Jesus? You know, do you text your friend, wish me good luck? Just let me know in the comments down below. The 3 best ones I'm going to pick, and each of you are going to be getting 270 gems. Alright, well I got to grind about 8,000 more energy worth of this to get my next 6 stars, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Please subscribe if you like this type of content. I'm going to be doing much more Raid Shadow Legends content. Like to help me with all that stuff. Hit me up on my Google Play, iTunes, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. Watch me on SoundCloud, Twitter, Patreon. Hit up my